Here are the top 3 reasons why you're failing to execute your plans, especially when you're trying to create some sort of change in your life or trying to reach some big goals in your personal or professional life. And the number one reason is not taking into consideration the learning curve. Because if you are doing something new, starting something new, if you're doing something for the first time, you're very likely to go through a learning curve. And even if you have a coach or mentor to guide you at each and every step, you are the one who is going to execute, and you are bound to run into different problems and challenges. For example, if you're going after a big goal, let's say making a career shift, changing a job, or maybe starting your own business or starting a side hustle or anything like that, you may need to learn new skills. You may need to hire a mentor or a coach. You may need to invest a lot of time and effort and more energy, mental and physical energy, into working towards that goal. Okay, and that will require you to make a lot of lifestyle shifts, a lot of mindset shifts, and maybe you will need to reshuffle your priorities. And initially you might not be able to prioritize and maximize your efforts, and this is the very point where a lot of people give up because they get confused, overwhelmed, or maybe they get discouraged. But what they don't realize is that this is the part of the process, and it is going to give you the data on what works and what doesn't, so that you can make better decisions and you may know where to make changes, where to pivot, or where to put in more effort so that you can get the results you actually want. Similarly, if you're trying a new habit or a new routine, you will need to understand that your brain is going to take a lot of time and repetition to get used to that new habit or routine, because it is wired to do things differently. Let's say you wake up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and suddenly you want to wake up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. Your mind is not used to getting up on that time, and that is why you will have to give yourself a lot of time, or you can say train your mind to actually wake up at a different time, and which may be a bit uncomfortable. Your brain or mind will try to resist because it's uncomfortable and it wants to keep you safe. And again, most people give up at this very point. Whenever people try a new habit or routine or something like that, and they are not able to do it like for a couple of weeks and months, they instantly start to label themselves as inconsistent, or maybe they think to themselves that they are not disciplined enough, or maybe they don't have a strong determination, when all they need to do is to keep trying again and again till the time their mind, their brain gets accustomed to that new habit or routine and registers it as a new pattern, and then it becomes more natural and more easier to get into that new habit or routine. Another big reason that is causing you to fail to execute your plans is shiny object syndrome. And I'm super sure you might have heard about it, and this is something that I have struggled with for a long time as well. So, what is shiny object syndrome? So, shiny object syndrome essentially means that you get distracted by a new goal, or maybe a new strategy or tool, or maybe just getting distracted by another way to beat procrastination or anxiety, and that just causes you to get into this downward spiral, or where you are hopping from task to task, project to project, or just trying a bunch of different strategies and all of those things. And while sometimes that may be exactly what you need, but you will also need to have a high degree of self-awareness to make the right decisions, and we will talk about that in just a second. But yes, you do need to understand that if you're trying something new, whether it's a routine or a habit, or just trying to pursue a new goal, a big goal, or trying to make some sort of big shift in your life, you will need to try a bunch of things to see what fits or to see what works. So here's what I recommend: give yourself 4 to 8 weeks to test a new habit or tool or strategy to see if it works before switching to another alternative. Also, remember that there might be multiple ways to reach a goal or multiple ways to do a certain thing, and the fastest and the shortest route might not always be the best for you. So you have to find one that works for you and that gives you the desired results. Now, if you're going after a big goal, I suggest try pursuing that goal for at least 6 months, minimum 6 months, before you dump that goal for some reason, or you think that you might not be be able to achieve it, or maybe it's not feasible, or maybe it's not the right goal, or maybe something else caught your attention. No, you are not going to do that. You are going to stick to pursue that goal for at least 6 months to an year. And if you see some sort of progress, and after 6 to 12 months it still feels aligned to you, if pursuing that goal still makes you happy, however difficult the journey may be, you are going in the right direction. Now, on the side note, if something feels totally off, or you get some sort of epiphany, or you get just a sudden burst of clarity, do not let your ego override your intuitive nudge. Which leads me to my next point: lack of trust in your inner wisdom and a lack of self awareness is another big reason that is causing you to fail to execute your plans. Now, I'm sure you will agree with me on the fact that in this day and age, all of us, including myself, we all get distracted by external wisdom. We are constantly looking out for more information, and it has like both pros and cons. But what we don't understand is that consuming humongous amounts of information every single day, consciously or subconsciously, is seriously messing up with our decision making capabilities. And when you fail to use your discernment or make a firm decision based on your own rational thinking, experiences, and intuitive nudges, that's the very moment you start to get pulled in the downward spiral of procrastination, anxiety, not taking action, and all of those things. So, how do you trust yourself with making the right decisions? How do you know that whether it's an intuitive nudge, or whether it's something that's coming from your rational thinking, your experience, something like that, or maybe you're just getting distracted by a random piece of information that looks very good on the surface? Maybe it's very logical, but it might not add up for you, it might not work for you. So here are my two quick tips to make better decisions, but also remember that there's always an alternative, and there's not exactly a right or wrong decision, but to just increase the probability of making the right decisions. And in order to accelerate your progress towards your goals, here are two things that you can do. Number one, practice self-awareness. Now, you can do it in a lot of different ways. I can make a whole video on that. So I'll give you two powerful tips to practice self-awareness. And number one, schedule solo walks in your routine. Make sure you go for it like twice or thrice a week at least without your phone. It helps you clear your mind, it helps you process your thoughts, emotions, and everything in between. It automatically helps you make better decisions. And another powerful thing you can do to practice self-awareness is to journal or just write down your thoughts at least once or twice a week, if not daily. Trust me, it's a really powerful exercise that will help you clear your head, that will make sure you are on the right track. Now, coming back to the second tip to make better decisions is to schedule proper time for focused learning. That means you are, if you want to learn something, you are not randomly scrolling through reels or YouTube videos. You actually pick one or two or three mentors or channels that you watch, or maybe sign up for a free course or a paid course or whatever, but you are scheduling specific time to learn a skill, or to maybe find a solution to a question or a problem related to your work, your personal life, or whatever. Making sure that you are taking notes, because if you just watch random videos and you just save them, or maybe you add them to your watch later playlist, the chances of you going back to that list and watching it and remembering it, all the things that you learn, are likely very less. So if you like this video, hit the like button and make sure you watch this video in the series Upgrade Your Life, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.